Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? How are you? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you feel me? Touch me? You guys know the Who? Hey, let me know because everything's a little bit goofy over here on the stream. So let me know with some emojis um, that you can see me. And let me know with an abundance of super chats if you can hear me. I'm just kidding. Just give me something so I know you've got me. All right? Doing things a little different tonight. We've been dodging tornadoes and like summer storms and all kinds of things. So ironically, I'm having to look at my phone for the comments. Loud and clear. Okay. Phone boy, what's happening? Aaron Phillips. All right, all right. We'll do a little roll call here in a minute. We got 36 peeps in here. It looks like we're rolling in a little bit late. 9:21, trying to get it done. This is only a test. Full frontal face technology. What's happening, y'all? Barry Campbell, Jeff Adams, Eddie K, Pops, I see you. Scotty Story, good to go. Appreciate it. GB Linden, thank you. Michael Rose, Nate, Harrison Black, very good. Jess Harris, yeah. Yeah, I was late. I didn't, I'm not going to leave the house when my family's huddled up in the basement all together, So I waited till it passed, and it looks like we're going to be okay. Shadow Ops, thanks for the super chat. I was just kidding, but I appreciate it. Scott Settle, Barry Campbell, Tug Hill, Dennis Farley, Lionel Randall, Matt M, Astral PX. Hot enough to cook a burger in my battery compartment. I know that's right. Sean Gallagher, Dennis Farley, George Watts, Reitza, Mitchell Farley, P51D fan. Jeff Adams, very good. I'm sure I've missed some folks. Pop back in the chat and say hello if I missed you. Rich M, good times. Yeah, there's room in the basement, barely. Keith Christie, thank you for that. Just Enough RC, Jude, what's up? Mike Kennedy. Guys, it looks like they're in stock on the F-16s. Should be shipping soon then, I suppose. Thank you, Eric. Augured in. I see, Rob. Yes, getting hammered for sure. Joe Valdez. Mike SSI. My new free... Very cool. Tugs. It's ballooning. Eddie K. Oh, my gosh. Boss 223. Yes. Yeah, guys. Crazy week. Lots happening. I'm about to get a new computer. This thing is not liking me right now, and I've wanted an Apple forever, and that's what I'm going to get. Michael Sherman, what's up? I partly want to upgrade so it'll talk better to my phone as well. And I got these sweet new earbuds for Father's Day, and I love them. Links in the Discro. Just kidding. It's not. But if you want it, I'd probably figure it out. Yeah, happy Father's Day, man. Those are really slick. So they'll sync up with everything. I can edit with them. I don't have to... Dude, I've had these headphones since the 90s. I mean, it's probably time to... They're so old that shiny black stuff that was on the outside of the foam, I had to peel off because it would stick to your face when you took them off, and that's just not a good look. People look at you funny. Yeah. So I missed Dave's RC last night. Did he go? Was he on? There you go, GB. Yep, go to the Amazon store if you want some earbuds. Ted Odell, what's up? Oh, did you see that go over the pits? That was pretty exciting. That was pretty exciting and quite a recovery, I got to say. Yeah, I missed the Zoom too. I fell asleep early, which doesn't usually happen. I was actually here working on a video that I cannot wait to show you guys, even though it's a little bit early, but still worth showing. And I had to leave because my son was going to be stranded at the theater 40 minutes away if I didn't leave. So I left everything here. I probably would have just streamed from the house otherwise. Ha! There you go, Francis. Jackson RC Aviation, what's up? Hooey, I know you did, Scott. At least it was over the roof, you know. At least it was over the roof. Johnson 74th, what's happening? Lots of emojis I'm seeing. That's great. Oh, there's a vortex. It's kind of neat when it does that. So here's what's planned for tonight. Normally don't really do plans, but you know, when you have a show like this that's approaching 3 years, um, you know, we really put a lot of, this is opposite day, we put a lot of time and effort into what the stream is going to look like for you guys on Saturday nights. So in keeping with that tradition, 15 minutes until showtime, I called my friend Dave Air Marshal to ask him if he wanted to be on the show. And not only be on the show, but let's do something. So we have a bit of an agenda that we hashed out in 15 minutes, and we're going to be sharing that with you as we move forward through the show tonight. I want to hear what you guys are flying. I, of course, riff mostly off of the comments when it is just me, but once we get going with Dave, it's probably going to be very limited as much that I'll be able to really look at the comments until it's time for maybe answering responses and things like that. So yeah, what we're going to talk about is that trust test. I don't even know what it's called. It's that new FAA thing. And we're going to also talk about, flight test a little bit. They did a stream yesterday where they went over what their plans are in the future. And I think there's a lot of good stuff there to talk about. And I was just in and out of their show yesterday, so I caught the gist, but I'm hoping Air Marshal can share a little bit what he thinks they were really talking about. And then also live right here on the channel, as long as everything works well, we're going to show you how easy it is to take the FAA test. Ha! Right here live. So we're going to hang out like the old days meaning like last week. And, until I get the cue from our producer, Dave Air Marshal, that things are ready to go, and we'll bring him on, talk a little bit, and then we'll get into that test, hopefully, and see what it's all about. What's up, Adam Hampton? And I don't know, Dave, if we'll be able to keep us in the test, like a small little window. But if it clutters up the visual on the test screen, then we can skip it. So while we're waiting and dialing it in, last minute, as is always the case, let's talk about what you guys have been flying. Rob, you made in the 90mm 6S Raptor today. Great flying bird, he says. Also completed his 12th flight on the Arrows F-15. Another great flying bird. Very cool. Very, very cool. Lionel Randall says he made in his new OV-10, and it survived. Very nice. George Watts, I don't know what the time limit is on the test. If anybody else knows, let me know. How long do we have till we need to be taking this test? Oh, Johnson 74, 20th birthday. Man, you're a youngin'. Yeah, have fun with your family. Adam Hampton, you took yours already. Your test. Everybody says it's pretty easy. It just came out. I mean, just this last week. Harrison Black setting up a 70 millimeter Hawk for maiden, hopefully tomorrow. Hunter Yoakum just got done flying like 10 minutes ago, Carbon Cub. Very cool. Ha. Justin FRC did a float fly with his Grand Tundra today. M-Shag ripped a thrust vectored 10S 90 millimeter free wing Raptor. Whoa. Adam Hampton waiting on the new turbo timber. Did you order it already? It's fun. It's fun. I'd be surprised if the link wasn't in the Discro. There are loads of them in the description, by the way, even to RC Air Marshal's channel, right above my website. I did bring on a new affiliate over the last week as well, mostly so any of my friends that want access to Traxxas and still want to support Pilot Ryan Media can do that. I really love the TRX4 Bronco that I just got and my X-Max. There's some drag racing cars and like the trees for time and everything, and a lot of other stuff at A-Main. So if you go to pilotryanmedia.com, you will see A-Main as one of the new logos on my landing page, and you can click it and go right to A-Main and know that whatever you buy on that visit will earn commissions for the channel, which is super helpful. And if I could really tell you everything that was happening behind the scenes, you'd know that I need your support more than ever. So thank you very much, guys, for all of that. Scott Settle says he did a baby gender reveal with the EC1500. Tony is a grandfather. Flew the Rafale. What color did you drop from the EC1500? That's what I want to know. Blue or pink or purple? What is it nowadays? Could have been a rainbow, I suppose. Awesome. I see that. Tugs, you're going to be doing a maiden on your new SU-35, weather permitting. Yeah, A-Main is a solid outfit for sure, like no doubt. And I'm really happy with everybody I have, but there really was no other way for me to get Traxxas other than Amazon, and honestly, Amazon's commission rate is pitiful compared to everybody else's, to be honest. So for dog shampoo and ribbed A undershirts, I got you covered with Amazon. Toilet paper, toothpaste, you know what I mean? Cameras and things like that is good there, but for the hobby stuff, go hobby, stay hobby. And BitGo, my goodness, the selection there keeps growing as well. So stay tuned, as always, to what's going on here and there. Noons, now you got me, man. You got GB too, that has A-Main as well. So you do what you feel. Wild Bill, Tugs, nice. So I think it's about time. We're going to just shoot the breeze with Air Marshal. No funny business. This is G-rated. Okay, Dave? No funny business. I tell you what, I felt so bad about the last few streams that not only did I leave them unlisted, but I just didn't put them on a playlist. You can't find them. So you gotta, if you want it, you gotta reach out to me. I was pretty low last week, and I felt like I was a little too rough on a fella also. So I let that one. It's still available, but you got to want it to get it. So yeah, Jeeps. So do it, Johnsons. That's a great plane. Dave Snyder in the house. I think Bobby got that package out for you. I'm not sure yet, but if you don't get it soon, I'll find it laying around in here. I got it all packed up for you. Let's see. Whenever you're ready, Marshall, pop in here with me.
All right.
There he is.
What's up, fellas?
And I'm watching a lag. This is like going to be so weird for me today. Bobby, he's probably in a rowboat in his neighborhood. It's been so nuts around here lately. Like I parked in 4 or 5 inches of water behind the warehouse today. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Air Marshal, what's up, man? Thanks for doing this.
Oh, not much, not much. It's been a long day. I've been at the field all day, and got home
Nice.
maybe like 15 minutes before you called, which was like 10 minutes before the show started. Like, oh yeah, I can do the show. Let me. It's 8:50, dude. Why are you doing this to me?
You can always say no.
Nah, nah. This is fun stuff, so I'm always down for it.
You are, man. I appreciate you. It's been quite a day and week, so I just really didn't know what I was gonna do. I kind of had an idea, and then I thought, with everything that's going on with this test and the scuttlebutt surrounding it, I thought it'd be good to talk about it. And honestly, I'm here to learn about it. I don't know a thing about it really right now, other than I'm down to do the test. I think it's annoying to have to do those things, but like I want to fly, and I am would rather comply so I can fly and not be worried about legal hassles. I've had, believe it or not, I've had more than enough of that in the hobby, which is just ridiculous. Logos and such. So yeah, your RC lives will be changing tonight, right? KBRC, what is happening? Wild Bill Tugs. I saw somebody pop in that I hadn't seen yet. Where'd he go? Raymond Molina. So yeah, so who answer with emojis? What did you guys get from the? Well, what's your takeaway? And did you watch the flight test live stream yesterday evening? Guys, answer me with some emojis, and then tell me what you're taking away from it, because I know what I kind of feel like I picked up reading between the lines. And Air Marshal, while we wait on everybody else to chime in, were you watching that?
I was. So, but before we get to that, I want to answer a question in the chat from Ron or Rob Schoenbeck. That
Yes.
that may be I may have completely murdered your last name, dude, and I'm sorry. But Rob had asked, what is the general concern and the sense of urgency? Why do we have to take this test now? Rob, to answer that, this test has been something that has been on the list of requirements for like the last 2 years. So the real question is,
I see.
why are they just now making us take a test instead of making us take it 2 years ago when they said we were gonna? Um, and I think the answer to why the delay, not so much why are they making us take a test, why the delay? So the reason for the delay, and this was something that they discussed on the flight test live stream last night. So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone, right?
Perfect.
Um, the genesis behind this test was the the FAA is not gonna be swayed between hobbyists and the aircraft that we fly and say a commercial quadcopter, right? But they have been swayed a little on the type of pilot that flies one plane and the type of pilot that flies another. So, a commercial drone pilot, as you guys know, needs to go and take a Part 107 FAA exam, right? So, they have to go and get a Part 107 that costs money. It's not an easy test. It's a long test. It's a challenging test.
Yeah, it's
You
scary.
you can fail that test and have to take it again. So the FAA's original intent was for everybody that flies any kind of remote controlled aircraft, drone, right? Because they consider our models drones, or UAVs or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, UAS, an unmanned aerial system. They consider all RC vehicles to be UASs, and we were all going to have to take a Part 107. Every single one of us. If you wanted to fly, you were going to have to take a Part 107. Um, the folks at AMA who, whether we see what they do or we don't, the FAA, or not the FAA, the AMA, and the folks at Flight Test have been advocating for us since day one, right? One of the things that they did for us was get the FAA to acknowledge that a recreational RC fixed wing pilot, a recreational drone pilot, should not need to understand FAA airspace and navigation rules in order
Yeah.
for us to fly at a park.
Right.
So, that was, one of the things that Flight Test and the AMA have really been working hard behind the scenes to get the FAA to come off of requiring every one of us to have to take a Part 107. So now, we have the trust exam, the recreational UAS safety test. So it differentiates a
Good.
recreational pilot versus a commercial pilot. The recreational test is free. It is not tracked. You have to take it once and you have to print it because they can't track who took it and when. You kind of put your name on your certificate. You print that certificate and you need to have it available to present. The test is free. It doesn't cost us anything. And to be quite honest with you, the test, if you get the answer wrong, it tells you what the right answer is. So it's not difficult. It's very quick, um, and we're going to take it live for you tonight. I'm going to take this test live for the audience tonight. You'll get to see me do it. You'll get to see the kind of questions that are presented, about how long it takes me to finish it. And I think that that's important for people to see, because I don't want this test to scare people or make people think like, oh God, they're making me do something. What happens if I fail it? Do I have to pay for it again? What? There is no charge. It's free, and you just do it. Just get it
Yeah.
done.
Yep. And like you said, consider the alternative was,
Uh,
if you haven't looked into it, this
yeah,
107 test is serious
right,
knowledge testing, and for good reason. And
right. And now the funny part about that is, like, folks like Ryan and I mean, I think that we should have a Part 107, and I think Ryan is pursuing getting one as well. Um, maybe we'll see.
we'll see. Well, it all depends on how crazy you want to get with the definition of things.
Right.
And I'm not even going to go there right now
No, no, no. I
because
mean, to say it means that we have haphazardly acknowledged something that I don't want to necessarily admit to.
exactly. And I've had too many crazy things in the background that I'm just not going to open it up.
Right. There's definitely a can of worms there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the deal, guys. This trust exam, stems back to a couple of years ago when the FAA originally said anybody that wants to fly a UAS needs a Part 107. Um, so thank goodness for the AMA and for organizations like Flight Test for talking some sense into them and making it where the test we have to take is much easier. You only have to take it once. It's good for a
And
lifetime.
it's more like a form because, like Sean Gallagher says, it's correctable to 100%. You get something wrong, apparently the correct answer pops up. So they're just wanting to make sure that the hobbyist is educated by basically filling out this form and allowing us to do this and vet ourselves without having to go way over and above with a 107. Because if you just want to fly and have a good time, you don't need to go take that 107. 107 is if you're doing commercial work,
Right,
and in places that aren't designated for flight as well.
right.
So this is good. One of the things I always wanted to see was them to make a definition between the recreational hobbyists, which could be flying anything from helicopters to drones to airplanes to jets to even slope soaring. And those guys, some of those guys are the contests where they're up as high as they can get for as long as they can be. And I
And
know
and and
those guys
approaching
have
the
concerns.
approaching the speed of sound.
Ha, right. But I think it's a step in the right direction. I think one of the things I remember when that first round of, maybe not the first, but the last round of comments was being considered, and people were petitioning the community to pipe up. This is your chance. That, I think it was what, 50,000, somewhere between 50 and 70,000 comments were made by the community. And it really could be more. But even that was impactful enough to, I think, the FAA realize, and with flight test jumping in and with the AMA, all this all together, I think the FAA really realized how big of a task they have in herding us all a bunch of cats.
Well, and the other thing that I think is pretty cool that some people may or may not know is, Mike Patey has a pretty good following, and he was even soliciting people that watch his channel that aren't necessarily RC guys, but are aviation enthusiasts. Um, to pipe in and give input when the FAA opened up their deeming regulations for comments. So that was pretty cool too.
That's absolutely cool. And I think we need to support these folks. And you have to think about demographically where these guys are coming from. And I was saying this back when we were talking about this last time. Uh, you need these entities coming from all these different kind of angles. The AMA is coming from a very established. These guys are all pretty much aware of the rules and flying from sanctioned fields, many of them, right? It's a huge membership. Flight Test, they were able to accrue data in a very short time with their wide net they have cast over the internet, and come up with some staggering numbers at how many people are flying, but not AMA style. There is a huge amount of people that are flying not at AMA sanctioned clubs and doing just fine, minding their own business. So we got all these different angles, and the industry is in on this too. You're just not going to hear it from them. I know for a fact. Uh, it's not like Horizon is just sitting around waiting to see what happens. They've got people on this too. They don't make it a big deal, but you better believe they've got something to protect, and they're working on this too. So for common sense to get interjected into this, I'm glad to see it. It's a little bit of a nuisance, but when you consider what it could have been, this is okay, and I'll do it. You
It,
know what I
it's
mean?
it's much better than the alternative.
Ugh.
And guys, this is, at least in my opinion, this test, what you get out of it, this is part of the enforcement that the FAA is going to be able to fine against. Now, I don't want to like spread hate and discontent and conspiracy theories and, everybody put on their black hats and, cue the black helicopters and whatnot. But the FAA should a law enforcement officer see you with your plane and they ask you to present your test, you could potentially be fined if you have not taken it. So that's why I say, like, do it, print it, keep it. It's yours. It's good forever. Um, and my under, excuse me, my understanding that is that if you don't, if you do it on a mobile device, it doesn't necessarily work as well as if you do it on a desktop. So my recommendation would be take the test on a desktop machine and either screen cap it, print it to PDF. Windows, all modern PCs have the ability to print to PDF, right? And then you can save that certificate and keep it in a Dropbox, OneDrive account, whatever. And in the event that a law enforcement officer someday says, "Hey, do you have do you have your trust certificate?" You just show it to them, and it's 10 minutes to save you a lot of hassle in the event that you get pulled over. It's just like having a driver's license. Nothing's stopping you from going and getting in a car right now and driving down the road. But we go and we get driver's licenses because we're supposed to. We're supposed to have it. Um, so that's the same kind of thing.
So I
Ultimately,
wonder.
nothing's forcing you to go and take this test, but it's the right thing to do. It doesn't take long, and it's not as big a nuisance as you guys think.
So I'm wondering if you know you re up your registration. If you haven't done this test yet, will they prompt you to do it?
I don't know.
Is that going to be a prerequisite to be um, registered?
Here's I don't know. I don't know because they don't track it. Here's one of the requirements, right? And this was the AMA and flight test that kind of drove this as well. The FAA cannot track who has or has not taken this test. That's part of it. The same way that while they can see, these remote ID devices, they're not allowed to track the remote ID devices once they become a thing in a couple of years, right? So there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now, and a lot of folks are going to be like, well, if they can't track it, how can they prove whether or not I took it? it doesn't it doesn't make it any less pertinent to the changes that are coming to our hobby. Look, you can try to fight the FAA or you can jump on board. It's as simple as that. And at least from my perspective, it's easier to jump on board because the FAA is a fight you're not going to win. Uh, You know
That's
what
the
I
thing
mean?
for me. That's the thing for me. I mean, it's
Pick your battles.
oh man, pick your battles is right. Like I'm annoyed by it all, but I'm gonna fly,
Yeah.
and I don't want to worry about it because flying is a release. It's a relief. It's therapy. It's like gonna be a job. Like you know, don't mess with me. And the best way to not be messed with is to just don't break the law. Like people who don't like police, you don't want hassled by them. Well,
Don't break the law. It's pretty
don't break
simple.
the law is a good way to not get messed with. So look, this is you guys take it or leave it, but this is what we're talking about tonight, and yeah, I'm digging in. I'm talking about it with you, Marshall, because I know you saw more of the show, and you could tell Josh is fired up about it too. For what little bit I saw, you better believe he does not like anybody reaching in on this either and potentially putting a hamper on it, a damper on it, because this is a great thing for kids, adults moving up. These things can, time in the hobby can lead to full-time employment as an adult, and some smarty pants kind of stuff that we need kids to be doing. We need kids to be smarty pantses in this
Right.
country. And so if that's what it takes to support that, I'm all for it. And just like when I did the giveaway a while back, when this was going down the last time, the round of comments, you had to comment to be in the drawing. So I stand behind this as a community voice. I think we owe it to the rest of the community, the potential future community, and ourselves right now to stay engaged in this conversation. And I think a big way we can do that is by doing these things. And I'm not worried about being tracked or anything anyway. I mean, I carry a cell phone every day. If I was worried about being tracked, I wouldn't have one. I wouldn't be on the internet. Like, if I'm being tracked, like subscribe, tap the bell. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, leave a comment. Go ahead, track me all you want. Get everybody in your department to track me as well. Have them subscribe and bookmark the .com and let's go. Ha!
You know, it's frustrating because I think that a lot of people,
People get
uh,
fired up, and I
pe-
get it.
people do get fired up, and some of the claims that I see, like they're trampling on our rights. There's guys. Let's not turn this into a game of semantics. I mean, there's absolutely nothing in the Constitution that gives you the right to fly RC airplanes. You know, like let don't be ridiculous. I mean,
To me, I see it like if, like you said, it sounds like they're trying to figure out who's who.
yeah,
The commercial guys that are performing tasks and missions with things that fly, like deliveries or inspections, and even real estate photography, things that are like, industry tools. These guys have and should have more of a burden to bear in complying with regs.
they absolutely should.
They should. And that's what we're getting. They're giving us some little candy softball, easy, can't fail it procedure
Free test. It's not all
to
about money. They're not charging you for
yeah,
it.
to go through. And I think, man, how powerful is it going to be when you have loads and loads of people who have taken this thing?
Right. And at the
You
end of the
know,
day, it's kind of like when you get your your AMA card or whatever. Um, they've got a list. Man, it's at the back of every e-flight manual ever. I mean, I know none of us look at that, but like the AMA rules are on the back of that thing. All this is doing is making sure that you kind of understand the rules. You only have to do it one time. It doesn't cost anything. It's just an acknowledgement that, hey, we're trying to keep the skies safe, and
yep.
here's some guidelines we think you should adhere to.
I feel like it is in an effort to protect the hobby. At least what I see folks like us doing by talking about it, and flight test and AMA doing by trying to interject common sense and use their voice in this conversation. So I think just like before, it's a big miss if we have an opportunity to raise our voices or concerns, or to get in here and at least, you know participate. I think it's a miss if we don't. And I also think it's a nuisance. So I agree, with folks who are upset by these things. But yeah, I just want to fly and not worry about it. So I'll play.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'll
I ha
play.
I haven't taken the test yet. We're gonna do it tonight. See what it's all
Let's
about.
do it. Let's do it in a
You wanna?
minute.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We can do it in a minute. I mean,
You guys want to see this thing, man? I mean, who's doing this for you? We're bringing it to you live
yep. We're taking the test in your face.
in
You
your
can you
face.
can cheat off me if you want to. I wouldn't. I'm probably gonna like not get any of them right. We'll see.
The community can rally around Marshall and help him get it right.
But here's the thing, guys. Like, I'm gonna take this test right now, and you guys are gonna see me do it, right? And here's the thing. How much studying have I done for this test? Zero. I mean,
And
Ryan called me like 10 minutes before the show started and was like, "Hey, man, you want to do this?" And I was like, "Sure, man. I'll take it live." I haven't studied a lick. I didn't even know I was gonna do this until, an hour ago. So, if I pass it, you're going to see firsthand what a person who hasn't studied like one document, can I pass it?
right. And in contrast to the 107,
If you don't
uh,
study, you're not going to pass it. Period.
the 107 takes some preparation, man.
That's
You've got to study
that's
that.
private pilot ground school for the 107, basically.
Man, I'd almost say it's overkill, really. But it is what it is, you know.
Yep. All right. So you ready to try this out, Ryan?
I am, and
Our
I'm trying to get my comments back on my phone
I
because I lost them.
I think our pretty faces are going to stay on the screen, just much smaller, so people can actually see the website too. I'm going to go
Yes.
ahead and flip over here. So go ahead and say something real quick so I can make sure.
Okay.
Can
Check 1 2. You
yeah,
still doing good?
can everybody still hear us? Can everybody still see us? Kinda. We're much smaller, but you guys can see the website, right? All right.
Yes.
So the first thing that I want to do is I want to actually take this and paste it into the chat.
Good.
It's gonna look like Ryan's doing it, but that's okay. So here's the website. It's going to be trust.modelaircraft.org, right? This is right through the AMA's website. Modelaircraft.org is the homepage of the AMA. So go to trust.modelaircraft.org. I just posted it in the chat, and it'll take you right here. And they've got a big old button right here on the page. You move your mouse over, it turns blue. It's This is the start button. So here we go, guys. We're starting the test. Boom.
Nice.
What is going to happen?
This is exciting, man. This is exciting.
I'm so pumped. Oh my God. All right. So I'm not even going to read all this stuff unless you want me to. You guys want me to read it? Just take it
Um,
yourself. You'll get to see it.
yeah, you can't read every, summarize maybe, but I
So
don't think read it all. No.
let's look at the course overview here, right? During this course, you will learn how to plan your flights and how to fly safely in the National Airspace System. Completing this course will meet the requirement to pass an aeronautical knowledge and safety test required by Title 49 United States Code, blah, 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 right? So there is a
Yes.
law, Title 49 US Code 44809A7. If you go look up that law, that is the genesis that created the requirement for this, and it was created a couple of years back. So this is something that's been in the pipeline for a long time. All right, so let's click next. It's going to take forever because I'm going to be like explaining every step.
That's okay.
All right,
That's okay.
understanding the requirements for recreational flyers. All right, the requirements for the exception for limited recreational operation of unmanned aircraft can be found in 49 U.S. Code. Those requirements are fly for recreational purposes only, follow the safety guidelines of a community based organization or CBO, keep your drone in visual line of sight, meaning we can see what we're doing. Let's see. Always give way and never interfere with manned aircraft. Always a good idea. Get an airspace authorization before flying in controlled airspace, which we shouldn't be flying in controlled airspace. Pass an aeronautical knowledge and safety test. That's the test we're taking right now. Register and mark your drone. right? So the registration process and this test are two completely separate entities. And when it says register and mark your drone or aircraft, UAS, right? For us, for recreational pilots, we do not have to register every single aircraft. We have to do one registration, and then that registration code can be applied to all of your drones. And to say that that's a money grab, dude, it's $5 for 3 years. It's like a hunting license.
Well, and this is, that's why I'm optimistic, because originally
Oh, this
they
was going to be terrible. Yeah.
they were going to want it in every plane, and they were talking about uh, remote ID.
Right, right. And let's look at the highlight here at the bottom. It says recreational flying. You know, flying for recreational purposes means flying only for fun. Now, let's look at the bottom here where it's in bold. It says specifically, if you do not meet all of the requirements to fly under the exception for recreational flyers, you must fly under 14 Code of Federal Regulations, Part 107, also known as the Civil Small UAS Rule, right? So all of this is law. When they say U.S. code, that is stuff that's been approved by Congress and signed into law. These aren't things that the FAA made up. What the FAA made up were rules to enforce the law that was created by Congress, right? So this is real stuff. This isn't stuff that the FAA is making up as they go, right? Um, the FAA is just the regulatory commission that's been assigned by Congress to make up the rules to comply with the law that they made up. All right. So this is talking about the different types of airspace. So you got Class A airspace, Class G, Class B, Class C, Class D, Class E. Blah, 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 blah.
Thank you, Don Willman.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it is unpleasant. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and it's kind of just where we're at with this, and I think it could be a lot worse. So I'm again, I'm annoyed, but I'm glad it seems like our voices are being heard in this.
So guys, just for kind of the giggles of it, I'm not really reading any of this stuff. I'm just blowing through it so I can get to the part where I have to start answering questions.
Do it, man. Guys can check this out, and afterwards, I will leave this stream up, and I'll find the link and put it in the description as well. And I want you guys that aren't subscribed to Air Marshal to hit him up for doing this for us tonight with me.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I thought it was a great idea. Air Marshal's channel is great. He puts a ton of work into what he delivers to the community through his channel, and he's just one heck of a guy anyway. So if you're not already, check out RC Air Marshal on YouTube. I do have his link to his channel in the description, way down at the bottom, right on top of my pilotryanmedia.com.
All right. So here we are at the question portion of this test.
Woo!
A recreational flyer is a person who A, only flies their UAS for fun. I'm not even going to look at any of the other answers because I believe that's correct. Hey, look, it even tells me, hey, you got it right, and it marks it in green, right? So it's going to kind of guide you to the right answer. It's just going to let you keep changing your crap until you get it right.
Sweet.
A recreational flyer does not need an airspace authorization in which type of airspace? Controlled or uncontrolled? In uncontrolled airspace, you don't need an airspace authorization because it's uncontrolled. Bam.
Good answer. Hey, if
What?
you want to phone a friend, you got a bunch of them right here on the stream.
Yes. What is uncontrolled, Alex?
My, I've got something I could say, but I'm going to try to keep this one PG. Survey says,
All right.
there you go, Jeff.
What can
There
be
you go, Jeff.
expected? What can be expected during a presidential visit or major sporting event, right? So listen, some of you guys are going to live in areas where you never have to deal with this,
No whammies.
right? I have to deal with this all the time, especially during election cycles because the president flies in and out of Atlanta quite a bit. I don't know why. At least our previous, the previous administration leader, whom whom I will not mention their name because this isn't a political show, flew in and out of Atlanta quite a few times to support a runoff that was happening, and we had this happen all the time. So, what can be expected during a presidential visit or major sporting event? A temporary flight restriction will be issued. The answer is B. Final answer. Bam.
Hey, Sean said miss one on purpose and see what happens.
Oh my God. That's crazy talk. I'm doing it. How can a recreational flyer find information about the airspace in their area? Contact local law enforcement, call the FAA, or check with an FAA LAANC UAS service supplier or the Before You Fly app. A is the right answer, but I'm going to click B. Contact local law enforcement. Oh my God. Oh my God, I got it wrong. Local law enforcement will not provide a recreational flyer with airspace information. Cool. All right, we're going to click this button that says retry. Look, all the questions, all the potential answers are still the same, right?
And they tell you why you're wrong, not just that you are.
All right, now I'm going to click on call the FAA, which I also know to be incorrect. Oh my God, you are incorrect. To find information about airspace in your area, use an FAA. Now they're just telling you straight up what the right answer is. To find information about airspace in your area, use an FAA Lance USS or the Before You Fly app. Well, that happens to be answer number one. So we're going to click retry again, and then we're going to click on answer number one. Oh my God, I got it right. Even though
Woo!
I got it wrong twice
Twice.
on purpose,
2 out of 3 you got wrong, and they still let you get through with a green light.
they still let me continue.
There you go, guys.
It's that
This is
easy.
definitely not like the 107.
No,
Okay.
not at all. How can a recreational flyer get an airspace authorization? Through the Lance app or drone zone. That's the right answer. Now I'm just going to get them right because I just want to keep going, right? You've seen what happens when you get it wrong. I'm going to try my best to actually get it right now. In what area can controlled airspace normally be found? Near airport cities and metropolitan areas. That seems correct. All airspace is not controlled airspace. Boom.
Great job, man.
Hey, thanks,
You got
dude.
a you got a future in this.
I, I think I'm going to be all right. What is the maximum altitude a drone can fly above the ground in uncontrolled airspace without specific FAA authorization? We all know that the answer to that question is 400 feet. Boom.
That's right.
Which is why we always all fly at 399.9 feet.
That's it.
I never go above that. All right, preparing to fly your drone. Now, again, I'm not reading any of this. I'm just clicking next, 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 next until we get to the battery of questions. And then it really doesn't matter if I read it or not because it's just going to tell me what the right answer is. So who cares, right?
One of the questions I saw on someone else's test was, did Hangar 51 get cheeseburgered by the community,
Or did he cheeseburger himself?
or did he cheeseburger himself?
Well, actually, it was just Hangar 51 was cheeseburgered by the community. True or false?
There you go.
Okay, what should a recreational flyer do to reduce the chance of an accident with another aircraft? Hmm. Use FPV capabilities at all times. No, because why?
They
Because
want
a
line of sight
because a
spotters.
recreational flyer should have line of sight of their aircraft at all times, right? That's what I know. Contact the other aircraft on an aviation radio. There was nothing anywhere that said that we needed an aviation radio. How about avoid distractions and be aware of their surroundings? Could situational awareness possibly be the common sense correct answer? Yes, it is. Next.
There you go.
So,
If you
guys,
want to, if you want to fly anything, they want you to take this test. Um,
look at this. Checking your drone before and after each flight is a good idea because it is a time when damage can be identified. That sounds true. Wow, I got it right, Ryan. I got it right. I'm
you are one smart cookie,
so
dude.
pumped.
You are one smart cookie.
Who's responsible for making sure a drone does not fly too high? The FAA. Is that an
No,
answer? The
no.
the community-based organization. Well, the fixed site operations boss. This is like general aviation stuff, right? Like every airplane. Oh, that's funny. How about the person flying the dang drone? Yes. These are common
So,
sense. It's silly.
you
This,
know what? And it seems to be about individual accountability, which is something that I like.
yeah. Who's responsible for the drone in flight? The pilot. Hey, look, the recreational flyer. How about that? Yeah, I
There you
was,
go.
boom. I didn't even read any of the stuff leading up to these questions. It's common sense, guys.
They're
Uh,
starting to use the terminology that I always wish they would use and make a distinction between recreational flyer, recreational hobbyist, and
a commercial.
commercial. This is I feel like I've gotten what I asked for. Like I'm
Yeah,
I'm okay with this.
absolutely. A recreational flyer should be aware that some medications can affect their ability to fly safely. Yeah, I would say that's true. If you take blue pills, you need to wait at least 4 hours before you fly. And if the effects of the blue pill last longer than 4 hours, you need to seek medical advice.
Yep, call a doctor.
You need to call your doctor. A recreational flyer must be aware that windy conditions, let's see, will not have an effect on flying the drone. We know that's baloney.
Yep.
Can make a drone easier to fly.
What?
That's probably baloney. How about this one?
Yeah.
Can make a drone more difficult to control. That sounds
Let's go.
great. Let's go with
Let's go
that
for
one.
that.
Oh my God, we were right again.
I think
This,
you're gonna pass.
I might. Oh, look, community based organization safety guidelines. Hey, does anybody know what building this is? Does anybody know?
AMA.
That's the AMA headquarters right there. Muncie, Indiana. Next. Remember, we're not going to read any of this. I just know what that building was. I'm not reading it. I'm blocking it from view. Oh my gosh, here we go. A
Wild
recreational.
Bill, the test is the same for both because they consider our planes drones. They are
Yes.
still classifying them as drones or
It's a
UAS.
UAS, right?
Yep.
So a recreational flyer must follow the safety guidelines developed by a community-based organization, produced by the local FAA office, approved by the local city council. Well, the the FAA office is not going to produce rules for us. We're going to go develop by a community-based organization and see what happens. Oh my God, we were right again. I didn't even read any of that. None of that stuff. I didn't read any of it. I don't even know what a community-based organization is, but apparently it's the AMA.
A flight test.
Yeah, the AMA must be a community-based organization because when they had a big thing about community-based organizations, they showed a picture of the AMA headquarters. So I'm going off of like pictogram type stuff. Picture
Yeah,
picture logic, right? There was a picture
there,
of it, so it must be true.
there you go.
All right, a recreational flyer must always keep a drone within their visual line of sight. True. Bam. Now listen, guys, does that mean that a recreational pilot cannot fly FPV? No. If you fly FPV, you have to have a spotter, and the spotter has to maintain the aircraft in their visual line of sight. So use common sense. Don't make this to be more sinister than it really is. This is basic knowledge. FPV is still allowed. When in flight, a drone must give way to manned aircraft. Heck no. If the manned aircraft is below 400 feet, if the manned aircraft is above the drone, or at all times. When should we yield to manned aircraft? The answer is at all
Always.
times. You always yield to manned aircraft. Look, we got it right again. Dude, I haven't read any of this and I've gotten all of them right so far except the ones I missed on purpose.
There you go.
That's amazing. Using a visual observer allows a recreational flyer to fly a drone beyond their visual line of sight. Hmm. Interesting. I'm going to go with false. Crap, this may be the first one I miss. I'm, it doesn't matter. Oh, look, I was right. False is the right answer.
Yep. If you can't see it, that's it. Doesn't matter how you can't see it. If you can't see it, your spotter can't see it, then you're not in compliance.
All right, guys, so going back to what I said earlier, can you still fly FPV if it has to remain in line of sight? This question right here kind of leads to the answer to that question. When using first person view, FPV, the visual observer, which you are required to have anyway at most fields, must A, keep the drone in line of sight at all times, B, be located next to the recreational flyer using FPV, or C, all of the above.
Sounds like a C.
When in doubt, see it out. Bam! We got it right again.
There you go.
My goodness. Getting to know your UAS. I'm not reading any of that. I'm just clicking next. If it's not a question, I'm not reading it. Connection between the control station and the drone. Now, here's something that's pretty interesting, right? Because typically we fixed wing guys don't have a control station. Some of you like long range drone guys, long range quad, long range fixed wing, probably know what a control station is. If you don't know what a control station is, let's just say your remote control, right? Your transmitter is kind of a control station for what we do, right? But like when they're talking about control stations, they're talking about like long range links that go like miles and miles and miles away, which is kind of ridiculous for this conversation because you're supposed to maintain visual line of sight at all times. If you're within visual line of sight, you don't need a control station. So this whole section is kind of malarkey. Anyway, oh my gosh, this says something about practice flights. Oh my goodness. They're talking about registration, conspiracy theories. They're out for your money. It's $5, guys. 3 years. Every aircraft you own covered by the same registration. They're not out for your money. If asked by law enforcement or FAA personnel, a recreational flyer must provide proof of drone registration and that they have completed this course. Both documents may be in paper or electronic format. Recreational flyers must also be able to explain which FAA recognized CBO safety guidelines they are following. Interesting. I mean, they're telling you right here, like, this is the stuff, these are the guidelines you need to follow. A recreational flyer should know how their drone will respond before using any automated functions. Uh, True or false? I'm just going to go with true on this one. I'm just going to follow my gut.
Good guess.
Yep. I ate a good dinner tonight, man, so I'm following my gut. My gut's so big, I follow it everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, lead the way. 91 months pregnant.
Before flying your drone for the first time, it is a good idea to A, notify the people you will fly over. You shouldn't be flying over people. Number one, you shouldn't be flying over people. Number two, read the manufacturer safety information. Or number three, file a TFR. Well, you as a recreational drone pilot can't file a TFR, so there's that. You shouldn't ever be flying over people, so it can't be A. I'm going to go with B. Read the manufacturer's safety information. It's there in every manual. We just don't read those manuals ever. When was the last time you cracked one open, Ryan?
Dude, every time I set up a plane, bro.
Oh, that's true because you're like setting up the, yeah.
But
We
that's all I look at.
right, right, the deflections.
Yeah, the setup.
That's all I care about is like the radio setup and control surface deflections. That's it.
Yeah.
Gregory H, that's funny. My belly sticks out further than yeah. if asked, if asked, what must a recreational flyer provide to law enforcement or the FAA? Proof of test passage, proof of registration, or all of the above? Let's go with C. Look, this is like one of those Navy tests where anytime all of
Right.
the above was an available answer, it was always all of the above.
Yeah, they want you to pass.
Right. The
All
FAA,
right, Nudes.
yeah, the FAA registration number is required to be displayed on the outside surface of the drone, inside a closed part of the drone, on the drone's control station. Let's go with on the outside surface of the drone. Oh my God, I got it right again. Man. Look, and the reason this is taking so long, dude, is we're
It's
being a
because you're
little
having fun
goofy
with
with
it.
it. We're being a little goofy. I'm just trying to make light of this thing. It's not that bad, guys. This is clearly an easy thing to do. All drones weighing more than 0.55 pounds or 250 grams, that's a magic number in the world of drones now, must be registered with the FAA. The answer to that question is true, which is why small sub 250-gram aircraft are becoming very popular because you don't have to register them technically. So if all you fly is sub 250-gram stuff, you don't have to worry about any of this. Break the law, lawbreakers. But I ain't got time for little bitty sub 250-gram airplanes. I think UMX airplanes weigh more than 250 grams once you put a battery in it. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm done. Congratulations, you have completed the recreational UAS safety test. It has been said that a good pilot, no matter the aircraft, is always learning. In the world of drones, there's always something new and fun to learn. Talk to other recreational flyers. Consider joining a CBO and stay up to date on new products and drone features. Well, that's what you have us for, is to keep you up to date on new products.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Remember to print out a copy or keep an electronic version of your completion certificate. Awesome. So I'm going to click next, and it may show me a big look. And listen, they're not tracking you here. This is only filling out a form that is going to complete the little certificate down here at the bottom. That's it. This is not like tracking your information. So everybody calm down. You know, understand how web forms work. We're going to submit this
When do we have to have this done by?
right now. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Right on. So this makes a little PDF document. I'm going to save this. I've got my thing. I'm going to save this to documents. And let's see. Let's I know somewhere in here. Uh, sure.
They already know where you're at, EQ. If you have a cell phone or you get online at all, I mean, look, man, how's come when you talk about contact lenses to your buddy, you start seeing ads on Facebook for contact lenses? Man, there's privacy is it ain't what it used to be. Let's just say.
All right. So I just saved my trust certificate. I can print it at any time. It's got a front, it's got a back. I'm done for the rest of my life, guys. We did it together. You guys saw it. It was easy. I'm flipping back over to the cool screen where it's just me and Ryan. That's how easy it is, guys. This isn't
There you go.
hard. It's not made to take your money. I paid nothing. I didn't enter any credit card information. I didn't log into anything. That's how they would track you if you were logging in. If all they have is my name on file somewhere, I really don't care. Do you know how many different people there are named David Marshall in the world? I don't care. Um, it's easy, fellas. Don't don't get all hurt over this. It's not worth it. Just take the test, get it done, and you're done for the rest of your life.
Yep, I'm gonna do it.
Yep, because it's easy.
So you didn't have to punch in your registration that you currently have or anything.
No,
You just took the logged in and took the test. It's a certificate you get right then, and so it sounds like you could have this test under your belt even if you weren't registered.
exactly.
So 1 out of 2 is not bad.
Because you can have a driver's license without owning a car, right? You don't
That's right.
have to register a vehicle to get a driver's license. So it's kind of the same thing. If you're going to own drones, you need to get an FAA registration. And then you can put that, you can apply as a recreational pilot. We can apply that same FAA registration, which is 3 years, $5 to every UAS we have, every one
Yep.
of them.
One time, one number works for it all.
Yep.
I just did mine a few months ago. I had to re up because when that first came out, I did it right away.
Yeah. It's
So
$5, man. $5 is nothing.
just to have somebody not bother me, I'll pay it. You know. I
Yeah,
mean, what do we
guy.
pay to do? What think about what we put into this hobby? $5 is nothing for a little peace of mind.
And it's not like I've just been branded with the number of the beast or any weird conspiracy stuff. I mean, it's an easy test.
Yeah, it's they already got your number, man. Anyway, this didn't go. Oh, we found him.
Yeah,
You know.
we got Dave
Oh,
Marshall. Go get him.
we've been looking for this guy forever. He finally popped up on a FAA fly a toy test.
Yep. And I know that he was out flying earlier today because he said it at the beginning of the live stream. So we're going to find that guy. Like, they're not out to get you. There's no boogeyman waiting in the closet. It's,
There is, but that's completely separate.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Not related to this show's topic.
Yeah. Oh man. Very good. Hey, I hope you guys got some value out of that. Uh, I did.
Yeah, so what'd you think about the test, Ryan? You've seen it firsthand.
Oh man, I love it that we just demystified that for 120 guys tonight, and then another 1,000 or so in a few days when I leave this one public, actually, and let
Yes.
people see this and demystify this test. Let's get on the train. I mean, honestly, I'm so all about it. I wish there was an affiliate link. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
It's not.
so
And,
dumb, but
and
true.
what I think is kind of amusing about that is if you guys go to pilotryanmedia.com, there really is a link in there for the AMA.
There is, if you're not a member yet. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
that's what it is. Um, it's up there with all my other, branded icons from the companies I work with. Um, yeah, yeah, guys. Hey, look, we're showing you how to deal with this. Not arguing over the validity of it, and rights and such. We're just this is what it is, and we're glad to show you. And I think it's a great idea, like I said before, to stay engaged with this stuff. Even though it's unpleasant, I think if we just all are cynical and turn off or away from these things and try to ignore them, they're not going away. Like, look, like he said, this stuff is law. And what they were proposing initially was absolutely crazy. So for it to be in what I consider a fairly short time, especially when you think about the wheels of legislation, how slow that must roll. The like I'm pretty okay with what we're getting now compared to what they were putting out early.
Yeah, I can
As
promise
far as
you.
hoops
Yeah,
we were going to have to jump through.
I can promise you that test was easier than the Part 107 exam.
Oh my goodness! If the 107 was that easy, everybody'd have it already.
And that's what they were going to make us do, guys. So, just keep that in the back of your mind that the Part 107 is what you were going to have to deal with. And now, because of the efforts of Flight Test and the AMA, we just saw what we have to take. You're going to have to take a knowledge exam, right? That's a requirement now by the FAA. You're supposed to. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be coming over to your house and twisting your arm and saying, you got to get this done.
If you like the hobby, you want new guys to know. This seems simple to us and almost silly because we've been in it, but I'm telling you, you want knuckleheads to have gone through this, if only to learn what the rules are. So many of us that have been trained up by veterans or fly at flying fields, inadvertently learned these rules. I flew forever by myself or with my dad at a soccer field, wasn't sanctioned, nothing. And it really wasn't until I got in the club kind of scenario that I ever even heard of the rules and some of the parameters in which we're supposed to operate. Now, having common sense, I never wanted to fly formation with a real plane anyway. Um, but you know what? There's some people that need to hear this stuff. So if we have to um, go through this to be able to keep the hobby, I'm okay with it.
It's really easy. So there's some folks asking, do they notify you when it's time to renew? So
Yes,
the test that we just took, the answer is no, because there is no expiration date. There's only an issue date, and it's good for the rest of your life, right?
that's right. The
So
registration will come up time to renew, and you will get notified. But the test is a one and done.
Yeah, so this
What's up, Moff?
um I got this issued in December of 2017, right? This is my old FAA registration, and it expired in December of 2020, right? So I've literally had this sitting on my desk for the last 6, 7 months and haven't thrown it away yet because I suck. So I renewed it. I printed out the new one, and yes, they did send me an email saying, "Hey, your registration's about to expire. Click here and you can keep the same number." Well, the day after it expired, because I wanted to see if it would issue me a different number if I didn't click there, then I went to the drone zone and re-registered my, renewed my registration, and I still kept the same number. So I think you're good. I don't
Nice,
think it matters.
nice.
But it's $5, guys. Again, the, our AMA memberships are a much more, heavyweight expense at $75 a year. So a lot of people, if you fly at a club, you're paying more for your club fees than $5 every 3 years. It's literally like 10 cents a month, 15 cents a month. It's nothing. They're not out for your money. They don't care about your money. It's more of a processing fee than anything. Website
Yeah,
upkeep.
yeah. I think I took a screenshot of it when I did it. I'm
I
looking.
I just printed it and I keep it with my AMA card. And I'm going to print that new thing that I just took and I'm going to keep that with my AMA card
That
because
makes sense.
it's easy to do.
That's right. Let's see. I'm trying to find it here. And I think you can find it if you don't have it. Your registration stuff. I think you just have to go like try to log in, and of course you won't remember how you logged in, so tell it forgot everything, and you set up a new one, and there you go. I'm sure that's what I did last time was set up a new, everything password and all, and just because I wasn't gonna remember.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, some people do this, some people don't. I keep a lanyard when I'm flying. I always bring it to the field. It's got my club membership card, it's got my AMA card, it's got my FAA card, and now it's going to have my little trust certificate. All of that stuff is there. So, in
There
the
you go.
event that I get pulled over by some ding dong, like, hey, have you completed all of blah blah blah? Like, yes, I have. Here, you know, here's all the stuff. Get away from me. And then they're gonna, say, hey, thanks for complying. Whatever. It's just easier. Our lives become easier when we take, 10, 15 minutes and follow their stupid rules.
Agree. Agreed. And I'm gonna have to do all that stuff too.
Yep,
I'm gonna have to find my registration and all of that. But it's not hard to do. It's just a couple steps.
that's right, Defrost. I bet there is only one David Marshall with a Sea Mafia hat. Boom.
There you go.
Membership has its privileges.
Jeff's Custom has he makes and sells stencils for your FAA numbers if anyone needs them. So check out Jeff's Custom RC if you want to get some of those. You can make them look like little N numbers. You know what I mean? Little something. Put it on the tail. And listen, they want them on the outside of the planes, but do you think they're going to be mad at you if you open up the battery hatch and show them instead? They just going to be glad you complied and they can go on with their day. That's it. They don't look. They don't want paperwork over this because I think they kind of probably know it's a little silly too. You know, it's just protocol now. So I don't want to be surprised by somebody showing up giving me a hard time. I'll tell you, life's hard enough. Don't mess with me on this hobby, especially when I'm out there already. You want to mess with me, let's do it over the keyboard while I'm not at the field. But when I'm at the field, if somebody came and stopped me flying, I'd be mad. So I'd rather just have it all done.
So, you know what's interesting, right, about the whole, like, it must be on display on the outside of the airplane and not obscured from view and blah, 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 blah. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't say it has to be readable by the naked eye. So, what I have is a little water slide that I made, and because it's a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet, I have like 500 little water slide decals, and they're about the size of what you would put on the side of like a 72nd scale model plane.
Oh man.
And I put it like under the horizontal stab or something. It looks like a no step sign.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like there it is. Like, huh, look, he does have the numbers on the side of his plane. Like, yes, I do. Now get away from me.
There you go. Somebody asked if you could get them made in the Ray-Ban font. Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Sean Gallagher, they absolutely could have made something like that a requirement. But the fun part about models is they're typically modeled after real airplanes. So they've got like an N number or, some kind of, Buno number from, a military
Yeah.
organization or whatever the model was crafted after. So the fact that we have like these separate, AMA and FAA numbers that are unique to us is cool. And, the fact that we can kind of stick them anywhere that we want on the model, as long as it's external, I think is fine because it's kind of like the flying at night thing. It doesn't say anywhere in there that we can't fly at night. It doesn't say anywhere in the rules that it has to be visible to the naked eye. So it can be like tiny. You might.
Joe Pellegrino, shut your mouth. I'm just teasing, but yes, technically, yeah, but we're not talking about that.
The compensation,
I need to do that.
that is a bit of a
That
can of worms, and it could be argued.
I'm getting it because I don't want any hassle.
Right.
Just like I'm saying about this stuff. But I'm also not trying to like highlight it right now or put it on a t-shirt or you know anything.
Right. The compensation doesn't come from flying the airplane. You
I
know what I'm
know Eddie
saying?
K. Yeah, and Eddie K. I know, and thank you. I know, and Joe, I'm just playing with you, but yeah, um, yes, it goes even further than that. It doesn't have to be. They're using the term drone, but they mean these planes. They mean all of the stuff I've got sitting here that I put up and make a video on. It all kind of fits in that same deal. We're talking right now about you guys who are flying these for fun for real. And I'm flying for fun for real too. But at this point, after doing it so long, it's turned into something a little bit more than that for me. And I'm so glad, but I'm also freaked out. I want to get, I'm so glad that this thing is this easy for you guys because I need to probably go ahead and do the other thing too. And that's
So,
really kind of all I'm gonna talk about it right now. I'm spooked. I mean,
so
look, I've had trouble in this business, and it's crazy to think, and I don't want any more.
yeah, so Keith Christie actually brings up a really good point, and he's absolutely correct. Once you become a Part 107 pilot, you can't, like, at your leisure, flip back and forth between complying with Part 107 and complying with recreational rules. Once you are a commercial pilot, you have to comply with the 107 rules always, forever. So every plane you have has to be individually registered. It sucks because we're no longer recreational pilots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Joe, um, videoing from the ground, he says doesn't require the 107. Um, but you have a drone in the air that you're taking video of, and if you're posting it somewhere that's doing something for you,
Eh,
you probably need to.
well, that's why I say I think that there's a big can of worms there that it's worth the conversation. Um,
I just want to get on top of it before I have it.
yeah, I don't know that it's worth. I mean, maybe in the context of what YouTubers do, especially the ones, those of us that are monetized, those of us that have affiliate links. But are we, I guess my question is, and where I draw the line between, what is commercial piloting. Am I using my drone in an active
Uh,
money making venture? Like I am flying my airplane recreationally and videotaping it, and then using that to spread information about that airplane. The part that's making me money is not what I'm doing with the airplane, it's the value that I'm bringing by talking about the airplane. Like, I'm not actively, I'm not under contract with an organization to go and survey a plot of land. So I'm not actively making money. I mean, there's some gray area there, and I don't know where what we do falls, if it's inside that gray area or is it really black and white. Like if any money is made at all as a result of what you've done with a UAS,
yeah.
you
Well,
know.
George, in that scenario, that full scale pilot you took a picture or video of already has his license, so it's not
Ah,
that doesn't matter in that scenario because that it's implied the full scale pilot will already have his requirements up to snuff.
well,
Um,
the other part of this too, Ryan,
it is
is
gray area.
if I am recording a recreational pilot flying an airplane and then I talk about said airplane. If I was never the pilot operating the aircraft, what can they really do about it?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that
Yes.
stops me from recording a recreational pilot flying an airplane. And that could be how we break out of the gray and into just straight up black and white.
That'd be great.
I was recording a recreational pilot flying that aircraft.
What we're
That
doing is
wasn't me.
we're documenting recreational flights that happen to be put up on a platform that can in some cases be monetized, but it's not They may need to dive into that definition a little bit. But right now, technically speaking, um, I mean, this is the truth. Anybody who's on YouTube getting paid at all, flying these things, technically by their definition, is in furtherance of their business. There you
Yeah.
go. So that's why, as it stands now, it's a little funny. It's a little spooky too, you know. And the way folks have been coming at me lately, I hate to talk about this because somebody's gonna get, go crybaby into somebody about what we're doing over here.
Probably the
I
same
know it.
guy. Probably the same guy that that called
Yep.
somebody else. You know,
Yep.
the same guy that was upset about some cursive letters.
Crazy. But I mean, really, I mean, technically speaking, that's how this comes into play. That's
Yeah.
what this looks like. That's what it kind of is.
Oh, Barry Campbell.
That's the thing about the gray area. So anyway, I think that wraps it up. We'll know. Um, if one of us gets a hard time, we'll know. But in my estimation, it's something that I want to have. Um, and I wasn't too worried about it until I started wanting to fly quads and stuff as well, to utilize in making better content. And then somebody stomps on your toes and you start to get spooked about stuff. But we're gonna move the topic to something else and then wrap it
That's
in
cool.
probably 10 minutes. So yeah, links to the distro. Let me further into my business. Okay. Links in the distro. All right. Let's further into the business. Appreciate you guys using them. It's very, 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 very helpful. And it's going to, I think, provide me what I need and have always hoped for in the not too distant future. So I need y'all to keep it up. Appreciate that. You guys know how the YouTube game works. Go watch the videos. It's been a weird few weeks. We're super busy. Labor is hard to find at work, so just like thinking exhausted. Done some events too, which is a different kind of weekend. You're just there to
But
enjoy it and not really capture a lot of. I don't really go to work at those things because I want to just be there. So
and it's
yeah,
almost just as exhausting, even though it's not a job. Man, you don't get a lot of sleep at those events if you're hanging out with us.
that's right.
If you're part of the cool kids club, there ain't a lot of sleeping.
What's up, Roach? Yeah, Chris Harley. I got a FMS Beaver sitting here in the box and some other things too that I got to get put together. Um, you know, BitGo has grown too, so there's another warehouse we can spread into um, next week. So there's just a lot going on in the background over here, and I do these streams usually from BitGo. So whatever's going on with them is kind of good. What's going on with me, and it's just been a really awesome. Uh, it's just been great to have Bobby over here employed at BitGo. We talked BitGo into moving to South Bend and getting Bobby going, and man, it's going awesome. So it's growing. It's getting another space, and maybe we can finally just set up a real dedicated space for doing this kind of stuff. But right now, it's we've
It's
been in and out doing
wherever you
events,
can
and
fit. Yeah.
it is nuts. I don't know where I'd build. I don't know where I build these things right now. If we were gonna, the
So
tables are all used up. It's just crazy.
I wanted to answer a question from Michael Sherman, who
Do it.
says, not seeing how my original registration with the FAA is acknowledged with trust. It's like starting all over. Michael Sherman, you need to, and everybody, because I like when people ask questions that, like that everybody can benefit from the answer. So I'm going to answer the question. The registration for your drone, these are two separate entities, right? So the UAS registration is like the license plate on your car. The trust certificate is like your driver's license. One is for you, one is for the vehicle, for the UAS. So that small UAS certificate of registration, that is the registration for the aircraft. The the trust examination is more like a knowledge and comprehension for you, the pilot. So they're two separate entities, and one does not need to be acknowledged by the other. The same as, like I was saying earlier, you can have a driver's license without owning a car. You can own a car without having a driver's license. But, you should have a driver's license to drive a vehicle. And
Right.
the vehicle should also be registered. That's what the law says. So this is all in compliance with like real US law. And this only applies in the United States, by the way. Our international folks, you can completely ignore anything that we're saying about the FAA. You don't need to comply with what we do.
They have their own stuff a
Right,
lot of times.
right.
Francis sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a good idea. Yeah, guys, asking about Bobby. He'll probably do his show tomorrow, like always. Um, yeah, and thanks for coming by and hanging with us on this. Maybe not super entertaining, but definitely informative show. I'm glad to do it. I think we need to stay engaged in the conversation, even though it's unpleasant. I appreciate you guys who do. I think it's a wasted opportunity when you don't pipe up or comment or do these things and take it for what you will. But that's my position here, and I'm standing by it. Like I said, I'm not thrilled about it either, but I think it's something again that's a missed opportunity if we don't engage with it. If we try to just ignore it, it's not going to go away.
So
So
uh, just real quick before the show ends, like let's talk about something much more cool than FAA tests.
do it.
Let's talk about the 80 millimeter F-16 from E-Flight in stock now.
That's right. That's right. I got a bunch of flight videos of it, and I just put up Bobby K and I's like unboxing first impressions and assembly the other day. Check them out. Grass Ops, Windy Day, Shakedown, Unboxing. And then I flew it with Bobby. He flew the SU, and then Bobby flew it with Gavin on the F-18. Lots of stuff on the F-16 here at Pilot Ryan Media, and more to come. I can't wait to see them get into your guys' hands. I hope if you got one, you thought about using one of your buddies and clicking through. It's always nice when you do, but that is a hot ticket, and I
Yes,
cannot wait.
and it is nice, folks. It's a nice plane. It's the night. I will go out on a limb and say that the F-16 is the nicest military jet that E-Flight has made to date.
I'd agree. I would agree, and it's if you watch, we're definitely familiar with all the stuff that's been coming out with from those guys, right? And if you watch that those videos, and in particular the unboxing assembly first impressions thing, we noticed right away how beefy the gear were. The F-18 gear look amazing, but they're just not as substantial as the gear on this F-16. It's far
Right.
superior. Um, there's no kind of weird geometry. Like all three struts compress in the same kind of way. The F-18 has those definitely interesting knees,
But it
where
doesn't
it folds
really have
way back.
suspension.
No, because it rests bottomed out.
You're right.
So it's different, and the F-16 is just, I feel like it's easier to fly too for probably most people. Um, but yeah, Gregory H, that would be awesome. I have no idea. That would be sick. It's going to be a big ticket if they do one like that.
Yep. And
An F-14. I'd love to see one.
and I'm not talking about, I don't have any videos of the F-16 because I don't have one yet. There's a big yet on the end of that sentence.
Nice.
One is coming, fellas, and we're going to be doing some awesome stuff with it. So if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you. And if you haven't, go hit that subscribe button on my channel because you're going to want to see what I'm going to be showing with the E-flite F-16. It's going to be cool stuff.
That's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to play with it some more.
It's really a good looking plane. I think they did a spectacular job with it. It really is uh, the best military plane that E-flite or best military jet that E-flite has put out yet. Um, and the thing I'm excited about, right, is everything that and you can I'd like to hear your opinion on it. It's funny how like I'm like doing like this crazy interview and
Do
Ryan's
it,
just sitting back.
bro. Do it.
um, I'm interested to get your opinion on this too, Ryan, because I'll tell you how I feel about it. I think, I mean, with every release that E-flite has done over the past couple of years, everything just keeps getting better and better.
Mm.
Like they are learning and listening, and I mean, everything they're doing, everything that they're releasing this year is like, boom, home run. Uh, Even the stuff that we don't necessarily like, like
Yep.
the Draco is a beastly bad to the bone, right? And everybody was waiting for it. But even the small stuff, like the FW-190, to me is a better airplane. Now, some people are going to be like, "No way, is it better?" Listen, I'm talking from a technical perspective. I don't like the F-190, the FW-190 better than a P-51. But if you're being honest with yourself, the FW-190 is the better of those two airplanes. It's crafted better, not
Yeah.
not necessarily a better airframe. Relax, people. I still don't like
Right.
German
Right.
planes,
Well,
but
yeah, the Mustang is faster, but yet they learn, and they're implementing everything they're learning as they go into the models we're seeing, down the line.
right, right, and people are like, why do they keep releasing new timbers? The new timber should be a glowing display of why they keep releasing new timbers. Number one, because they're still selling the poo out of that airframe, and they keep making it better. Like they're not just going to release it as a V whatever because it's not the same
CJ.
airplane anymore, you know? Like
Yeah,
that new Turbo Timber Evolution, it's not
it's
the
awesome.
same airplane. It's completely different.
Yeah.
It's still every much timber DNA, but hardly anything about it is the same as other timbers before it. Like it's just they've I love what they're doing right now. Horizon is and look, like we don't sure, we have affiliate links, but it's not like they're giving me a paycheck to come and say all this stuff and speak their
No,
praises.
no.
Um,
It's nice to be buddies though,
It
with
is.
the industry leader in all things.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, just straight up honesty, E-flite's killing it right now, man.
Yep.
They're killing
And
it.
dude, my refault. By the way, I'm kind of answering a question. I saw
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah. It's your
comment, but
show,
it's
dude. I just am like butting in.
no. Thank you. My refault came from Horizon, and it if I think it had the reflex in it. I know a guy bought one from Tower, and his came with it. But what I want to do is say, you know, back up time and buy it through PRM.com, and you probably still get a reflex. Anybody confirm that? Anybody get it through Horizon and still get a reflex? Let us know right now in the comments.
That'd be interesting to find out.
I'm pretty sure it does. I don't even remember what it was so easy to set up compared to the other Delta that I don't even remember. I can't hardly get to it now to check it either. We're packed in so tight in here um, that it's I can't get to the Rafale if I wanted to.
Well, now here's something that's interesting though. A lot of folks think that that crow setting that's built into the reflex unit. It is not. The control for that crow setting is actually built into the multifunction board that's in that plane.
Yes.
Even without the reflex, it still does the crow. So just something to be aware of.
Yeah, I think I set mine up on Spectrum. I don't remember. I don't think I had a mess. If I did the reflex, I didn't have to do anything to it.
Oh, you know what? Here's something else, Ryan, that you may be interested to know. Um, I got to fly a Draco today that did not have a factory receiver in it.
How was that?
Terrible. You want that aileron to rudder mix.
Dude, and I trust those guys. I've scratched my head on that a little, but I trust those guys enough that if they put a rudder to aileron mix in that, it
Uh,
needs it.
you're right. Like I look at it and it just seems so unnatural to me, and I can tell when I'm flying it that yes, I'm having to do a little work with the rudder to kind of, especially, we've talked about this quite a bit, the opposite
Yeah,
aileron thing to hold a bank angle. Um,
right.
you'd much rather fight that mix than not have it. Not having that mix was scary.
Wow. Yeah,
The
it must be, or they wouldn't have done it. You know
the
what I
the
mean?
tail just drops and the plane goes straight up. Like, oh my God.
Wow.
Like you have to like when, 'cause normally when we go into a bank with like a high wing plane, yeah, the tail's gonna drop. We have to lift the rudder up, so you go into like a right hand bank, you have to give it a little right rudder, get that tail up, coordinate the turn, you know. With the Draco, you go into a right hand bank and then it drops straight down like the like a pendulum of a clock or something. I mean, it just whoosh. Like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I mean, I trust these guys. They
Yes.
wouldn't have done it if it didn't need it.
I remember talking to Jason about it, and he was like, uh, you're working the rudder. So they wanted to do it without that. He was like, we looked at doing it without that rudder mix, and it was just too much. And I'm glad that I did that today because in my recent review of the Draco, I asked folks, like, hey, do you want me to show you how to turn that off? And there's a lot of people in the comments of that video. They're like, yes, I want to know how to turn that off because I don't like it. Listen, if you're one of those people that left that comment, you like it. You just don't know how much you like it yet. Hey, who's that guy, man? Did Bobby K just come walking behind you?
Yeah, man.
What an idiot.
Hey, grab me one, bro.
What what are you guys like drinking some Yankee soda? Some Yankee pop?
Yeah,
Some
thanks.
some disgusting Pepsi? Gross. Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. This is what you get, when you got like a bunch of Indiana Yankees drinking their Pepsis, talking to somebody from Atlanta. Get a rope.
Hey, man, as long as it's got fizz in it, I don't care. So, did everybody get contact with who they wanted to? Mafia. I know you got some guys wanting to maybe get some hats and stuff. So, do what you got to do, man. If you need to drop an email address or whatever, and even so, right away after the stream, the chat won't be available. But once it's done processing, you can get back into the live chat. But I would invite you, anybody who needs to check out the like regular comment section of this video, especially if you're wanting to communicate with your buddy still, because you can do it there, or the RC Pilots Lounge Facebook group, which is rocking at over 2,000 members in short order. Um, RC Pilots Lounge on Facebook is awesome. So go to pilotryanmedia.com. All my socials are there: Instagram, Facebook, my email, like all that good stuff, and of course the brands I work with. So do that. Subscribe, tap that notification bell for me and Dave both. Um, man, having a great time. Can't wait to get out and fly and film some more. And I'm very looking forward to that Viper 90. I cannot wait. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it. 2-minute warning. You got your Ultra Micro Doberman ready to
Yes.
rock. Jeff's Custom, good to see you here, dude. Um, you guys go take that test. Make life easy on yourself. Or don't. But hey, at least you know what to expect now, right? And a lot of guys have been really forthwith with that info. I've seen it on Facebook. Guys have done it and come back out and said how easy it was. So I like that. What am I missing, Rob? Yeah, you know what's up. You get that FMS stuff through Horizon if you want to help your buddies. Yeah, Michael Bear, man, no sweat. It's a good one. I think you're out of the country, so it may not apply. But uh, Air Marshal, put a link one more time to the test, if you would,
Yes. So I can just
and
type it
then
because I remember what it is.
awesome. And then maybe we can put it. We'll put it in the description, and maybe we can put it in. If you put it in the comment section of the regular comment section, Dave, I'll pin the comment
Yes, good idea.
so it'll stay up at the top. All right, guys.
So right there,
Before
that is the link to the trust exam. And for you, those of you guys that have been here since the beginning, you guys saw me take it live. It's very easy.
very, very, very easy, and support these other guys too, like AMA and Flight Test, who are doing some of this. What really is probably not glamorous work to protect the hobby for us. I think it's all working. I think this is way better than it could have been, and it's because of uh, community organizations like that and people who speak up. So everybody who does pipe up, I really appreciate you and thank you very much. I want to give a shout out to a fella that I was told listens to every show, but is kind of maybe shy and doesn't pop in. And I'm gonna get a name check real quick because I just wanted to shout him out. And Davis Klinger, thanks for coming by. Uh, my pops told me that you are a listener of the show, but you just kind of are hanging out. So glad to have you, and I'm completely glad to say hello to you. Eric Tennant, good to see you, everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah, if the reflex comes and stuff, I use it. I have to I have to dig into my Rafal and see what I did with it. But the reflex is also the same as the vector that's at Hobby Zone, and anything that I've done at Hobby Zone that had the vector, I used it. And it's
Was it the vector or the vortex? I don't
no, man,
remember.
it's the vector.
I don't remember.
It's the vector. And dude, even though you guys are a lot
That's
of
the
you,
arrow stuff, yeah.
that's right, the Hobby Zone stuff, the arrows, RC things. So if you watch my Husky SE, it had the vector in it. If you watch the Bigfoot Ready to Fly, that thing locked it in. So some of the planes at Hobby Zone,
Yeah. Now
anything that came with it, I've used it.
the vector, incidentally, when we say it's the same as the reflex, it's the same as the reflex V1. The reflex V2 is not the same unit. It's
Thank you for
different.
that clarification. I did not know that.
Yeah. So the reflex V1 and the vector are like identical.
And any questions, guys, hit me up in the comment sections. I'm pretty good at seeing them. The only reason I don't answer them sometimes is if I don't have an answer and I don't want to just BS you. Um, but I'm pretty good about it. I feel like I'm pretty good about it. The worst comment you can get though is, "Can I ask you a question?" Just ask it. You save a little back and forth, but it's all good. It's all good, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Michael Bear. You guys are great. I appreciate you. See you in the comment section. See you in all the shows that go on through the week. There's a bunch of us that do it. I'm not gonna ramble through it. That's just too many. It's
Did
just
you even realize like how awesome a rhyme you just busted?
no. Was it really? Was it good?
Yeah, you
It's
were
because
like, I'm
I
not gonna
just
do it. I'm not gonna rifle through it, and I was like, rhyme busted. Like that was awesome.
I flow like that all the time. I just don't even notice anymore. Michael Bear, yeah, I got a question. Are you being funny? I got time for a question. Lay it on me real quick. Yeah, okay, you guys are being funny now. Francis has a question too, but he just won't ask it. Scott Settle
Scott Settle
and
is
Bobby
correct.
K say it's always the blue box. Um, all right, you turkeys with questions. I'm gonna bounce. Air Marshal, thanks a lot, man. You're in control, so I'm getting ready to count it down, man. Do your thing.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So we're gonna roll, guys. Great seeing you. Show 153. I am quickly approaching 3 years in a row of this stuff. What is wrong with me? You guys is what it is. I mean, you just have always come in force, and it's hard to reckon with that. So why wouldn't you show up, man, when you got like 100 dudes hanging out? We don't even promote this thing. This is like the party kind of inner circle, right? I mean, this what a scene we have around all these streams and channels. It's just the greatest. I never would have guessed this would have happened when I started this so long ago. So, guys, thanks a lot, and there's a lot more to come. So, stick around. Appreciate your support. We're out of here in 5. Hanger Rats forever. 3 you later. You're too good to be forgotten. See you next time. Stick
Peace.
'em. Peace. Rolling.